what is banking on yourself? Dumb it down for me on, and we can go to monthly premiums in a bit, but let's just say I had some windfall money. I had a lump sum of money to invest. You pick the number, and then walk me through what banking on yourself or infinite banking. Walk me through what it means.
Sure. So first off, it's nothing new. I want you to know this is a 200-year-old concept, and it was well around before the IRS was invented in 1913. So we're talking about something that is proven, and the companies that run these policies are also 120 to 150 years old too, with perfect track records of paying dividends to their policyholders. So let me just start at the highest level. What are you buying? You're buying a cash value, dividend paying permanent life insurance contract. And you want to do that with a company that's first and foremost a mutual held company, not stock held. Mutual meaning that at the end of the year, when they divvy up the annual profits, they're going to award policyholders, not stockholders. Second big component is you want a carrier that offers non-direct recognition. And that's specifically talking about when you borrow against your policy, which you can do at any given time. When you borrow against your plan, it does not interrupt its exponential compounding growth. So just touch on that quickly. If you got a $10,000 in your policy, you borrowed out 9, you're still going to get your dividend on the 10, even though you put 9 to work somewhere else.
So this is going to be totally foreign to people about, wait, I can have a life insurance policy that has value that I can borrow against. Like, there's somebody's eyes already rolling back in their head. Because most people, like when I was in the Army, for example, and they are trying to sell us, TransUnion or AIG, term life insurance. It was like, well, you might get shot in the Army, so give us $23 a month and you'll never see that money again. But if you get shot or you blow yourself up, your little sister will get $1 million. So I think 99% of Americans think of life insurance through the lens of term life insurance. I have this policy for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I pay my, $15 to $150 a month. And if I die, somebody gets money. But if I don't die at the time that I have the insurance policy, nobody gets anything. It was truly just sunk cost insurance. So we might have to step back even one step further, which is what is a cash value life insurance policy?
Yep. That means your premium dollars are doing two things: building cash value inside the policy and putting a death benefit wrapper on the outside. And I'll explain some more on some numbers on that. And then along the way, you'll enjoy guaranteed scheduled growth to your cash value, plus the annual dividend that happens each and every year. Not guaranteed to happen, but has happened each and every year with the carriers we're using. And it's really that simple. You don't want to make it any more complicated than that. It's a whole life, meaning it's good from now till death. They can't take it away from you. Term insurance is strategically designed that you're going to outlive the term.
Right.
And just like you said, I hate to say it, but term is actually the payout is less than 1% of all policies sold.
Right.
So anyway, and unfortunately, society keeps listening to Dave and Susie. I won't mention their last names. Dave and Susie, who say buy term and invest the rest, which is, again, there's Wall Street's tentacles reaching out to say, buy that cheap term stuff because we want your money over here to speculate with.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard this my whole life. Buy term and invest the rest. So if you need $1 million, by the time you're retired, you won't need $1 million because you'll have a big 401k and a big investment portfolio, and your house will be paid off. And then you can let the $1 million life insurance lapse when you're 65 because everything will be rosy. Well, except for the fact that I know a lot of broke 65-year-olds who don't have their house paid off and don't have their financial house in order. So I was actually introduced to the idea of whole life insurance, luckily, about 10 years ago. Same thing, coming out of the crash. I had lost 100% of my 401k at Washington Mutual and deferred comp at Washington Mutual because the bank went under. And who knew or who was paying attention, that their deferred comp was all in Washington Mutual common stock. So all that got wiped out. So this financial planner came to me and I was like, hey man, I don't have a lot of money right now. I'm in rebuilding stage. And whatever dollars I put with you for now need to be hyper conservative because I'm super snake bitten by the stock market. And he's like, well, here's what we'll do. And tell me if the math is about right. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I was young and healthy at the time. So I was I was early 30s, young and healthy at the time. He's like, hey, we're going to give you, I don't know, 2 million-ish death benefit. So when you die, somebody you care about will get $2 million. All right, cool. Well, didn't really have anybody I cared about at the time, but fine. Good idea. You're going to put $350 a month. Again, I'm probably getting the math wrong. You're going to put in $350 a month. And for the first several years, you're not going to see a ton of growth because a lot of that $350 it's getting peeled off to pay for the death benefit because we don't really think you're going to die until like 87. So we're peeling off some of that money early when you're in the early 30s to pay for the insurance component so we can make our money and eventually give you that $1 million. So in the first couple years, a lot of your premium is going towards the insurance, but somewhere around year 4, 5, 6, 10, there's kind of this hockey stick growth where now the money plus the dividend that Northwestern Mutual is paying you start to accumulate in this policy, and all of a sudden the cash value gets pretty exponential. And one day, Scott, if you stick with this like a solid conservative investor, not only will you see that growth, but the cash value of your policy will outweigh the death benefit of your policy. And at any time you can start borrowing against that money. So if, let's say 15 years from now, I've got $500,000 in a cash value life insurance product, and I want to borrow $400,000 to go buy an investment property, or I do want to put money in the stock market, or I want to pay off my house, I can borrow against my own money at a very low interest rate that then goes to pay whatever I just described. And one day I might not even have to pay it back because when I die, the death benefit's just going to pay back the loan.
That's right.
So did I, in a nutshell, conceptualize correctly what I signed up for?
I think you should go down and take your life insurance 215 test. You did so well.
Sweet.
Nice work. Nice work.